Hi everybody, I'm Cassandra from Craft to Believe After, and welcome to another video. And now friends, I have actually got quite a few things to show you. It's been a busy couple of weeks in terms of crocheting, not hectic, but I got quite a few things done. So sometimes I've got extremely slow weeks, other times I just I go from the one thing to the next. I'm enjoying everything I'm doing. So I'm excited to show you a few things that I've gotten up to sort of over the last 2 weeks actually. Now the first thing that I'm going to jump into is the hashtag Year of Granny Squares Cal that my lovely friend Jenny over at In My Spare Time Crochet is hosting. We're working through the Year of Granny Squares book. A lot of people have joined in. It's so much fun to see everyone's squares every week. For me, it's like a little, I'm seeing it now as a sort of a palette cleanser. So in between different projects, I really enjoy making these squares. I get to learn different stitches. I get to do, something non-amigurumi. Because lately, even though in the beginning of the year I said I want to do less amigurumi, and I'm definitely doing less amigurumi than last year, I have sort of done a lot more amigurumi the last month or so than I expected. So the squares have been a nice palette cleanser every week in between the other projects that I keep myself busy with. So I will show you the last 4 squares that I've not shown you yet. So in order, actually, this was about 4 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago. Now, I can never remember the names of these squares, so I will pop it up on the screen. This one, I really actually enjoyed doing more than I thought I would. Really like my color choices. So for all of my squares, I'm using Rainbow Cotton 8-4, which is a fingering weight, 100% cotton. And I use a 2.5mm hook for it. All of my squares, and I know now in the book, the squares are divided into seasons, so the color palettes change within the book for every season. I'm doing all of my squares in the same color palette, and you will see within the next couple of squares, they are all these pastel type colors. So this was one, then we had this one. I actually didn't like my color choice to start with. I didn't realize when I decided on the yellow that it was actually going to be the biggest, like it's going to take up the biggest part of the square. I don't know what I thought when I chose the yellow. But anyway, once I completed it, I actually do like the look of this one. Then we had this one, which I really, really enjoy doing a lot. I really like this one. And then the current square, which is, I don't know what it's called again. But it is this one. It wasn't a difficult square to do. I just didn't enjoy it. In the book, she actually tells you, because you work, you change after every second row, you change colors. She tells you to carry your yarn up with you to sort of ensure you don't have too many ends to weave in. I did not go that route, and I actually cut my yarn after every color change, so I did have quite a few ends to weave in. Also, this is not a square, this is more of a rectangle. It's a bit thinner this way, so I don't know if my starting chain, I probably did a little too tight, and the rest of it just was tight as well. So this one is a bit more narrow than it should be. If you put it, for instance, next to some of the other squares, it definitely is much narrower. But I've been enjoying the squares a lot, and every week I love seeing all the squares that everyone else is doing. So this has been a fantastic crochet along. We're sort of in the home stretch almost, not too many squares to go. Then we are done with a year of Granny Squares. All right, the next thing I want to show you is actually from a book that I've had for quite a few months, and I've not made anything from it, but recently I've seen quite a few people make projects from it, and it is this book, Panda and Pals. As I said, I don't know when, it was towards the end of last year I got this book. I don't even think I've shown it on the channel. I thought I'd make something from it, never did. But now with Easter on the way, and I've been seeing a lot of chickens and chicks and all sorts of things pop up, I decided to make this pattern. Bertha, chicken, and it is this gal. Now I did leave off those little dangly legs, and I actually used, they call for sheepy stone washed. I do have some of the stone washed in my stash, not a lot of colors. It's actually, I bought the stone washed about 2 years ago when I did a collab with my friend Julie from Kay's Mom Crochets and Caroline from In the Love of Crochet. We did an autumn collab, and I still have some yarn left over from that. And I decided to make this cute little chicken. Luckily the colors I had, which was this orangey color, I don't know what the color names are, so I have a lot of fall colors. I've got a green, then I've got red, a beige and orange. That's it. That's the colors I've got in the stone washed. So it worked out really well for this little chicken, and this was such a fun make. As I say, I love the chicken just as she is, without those thin little dangly legs. But this was actually really, really quick to whip up. Now with the stone washed, I did use a 2.5 millimeter crochet hook. As I say, a very, very quick, very easy pattern. Really enjoyed it. So I think I will try some more of the patterns from this one. There is a little polar bear that I want to do, but the thing with the polar bear, and I will definitely change it, she makes it in 2 different parts, and I see a lot of the patterns are like that, where she has 2 different parts and then you sew them together sort of in the middle. And the same, I'm going to see if I can show you without showing you the pattern. I don't know if you'll be able to see on this photo that in the middle you can see the seam. Now I don't know why she would have designed the polar bear like this. Now he does get this little shawl over him, so you can't see the seam, but it would just bug me. So if I do this pattern, I will do it in one piece, which just makes sense. But he's super cute, so I will definitely be doing Iggy the polar bear sometime within this year. But as I say, this chicken, such a quick and such a cute little pattern. While I had my stone washed out, I was watching, for some reason there's a lot of market prep videos that comes onto my YouTube feed, and every now and then when I want something to listen to in the background, I will watch the market prep videos, even though I don't do any market prep. I don't do markets at all. I crochet just as a hobby and to relax me. But in a lot of the recent market prep videos, obviously with Easter coming up, a lot of people are doing quick and easy small little bunnies. I thought, let me try and see if I can whip up a bunny that's quick to make with the sheepy stone wash that I had out. Now I'm definitely not a market prep person, because even just making something small trying to make it easy and quick is stressful for me. So I didn't even write up this pattern. But I did make this funny little rabbit. I saw a few people who had something similar, you know, that they make in the thicker, the plush yarns. I wanted to see how quick it would be to make it in a sort of a regular type yarn. But this cute bunny was the end result of that test that I wanted to do. So not quick enough for me to do anything with it. It was fun, you know. Sometimes, as I mentioned, if I don't feel like reading a pattern, I will just make something up or design something. But for this one, this was sort of just to relax me. I didn't want to read a pattern, but I wanted to make something. So this was this cute little bunny before I packed away my leftovers of the sheepies again. So sometime or another I will take that bag out and I'll do something. As I say, I'm not planning to buy any more colors. of the sheepy stonewash. I'm just using up what I've got. It's a very enjoyable yarn to work with, but it's not that easily accessible to me. So I probably won't restock it often. It's also a little bit more expensive for me. I like working, as you guys know, with rainbow cotton from Hobby, because living in Denmark, this is the easiest way to get yarn. So I buy a lot of my yarn from Hobby purely for the reason that I live in Denmark and this is where they ship from. All right, let me have a look around and see what else I want to show you. All right, the next project actually has taken me several months to complete, and I will tell you the backstory about this. My son absolutely loves the movie How to Train Your Dragon. He's loved it since he was very small. He's got the books. And now this year, as you guys would have seen, or maybe you don't know, you haven't seen it yet, but they are bringing out the live action version of How to Train Your Dragon. Apart from that movie, every other person is now making dragons as well because of that Fourth Wing book series. Now, I don't know anything about those books. I have not read it. Don't know if I'm in the mood to read it, but just to say that there's a lot of dragons going around the crochet community. I think it comes from last year, which was the Chinese Year of the Dragon. It started there, carried over into this year. So with a lot of fiction, you know, supporting the making of dragons, it's just been everywhere. But ages ago, my son asked me if I could make him a toothless plushie. So we were looking for patterns. You know, there's a lot of snugglers and big dragon projects out there. I did not want to make anything in a plush yarn. I just want to use the cottons that I've got. So I actually purchased long time ago a pattern, and I'll pop it up on the screen, of what is basically toothless. I think they call it something else, obviously. But this is the pattern that I bought. Then it took me months and months to just start that pattern. I didn't actually finish it. After making half the head, I just realized that pattern and working with that dark yarn, and I didn't even work with black yarn. I bought a very dark, like charcoal color, which is much easier to work with, but it gives that black yarn vibe once the project is done. Anyway, I did half a head. I still have half the head, but I thought, there's just no way. This is not bringing me any amount of pleasure. I'm going to try and look for a different toothless dragon pattern. And I did find a much smaller, simpler version. And I will pop the name of the designer on the screen. I will link it down below. But the toothless that I did end up making, and still it took me about 2 months to do, because working with this yarn, everything in the same color is just not for me. I realized it's a struggle. I love the end result. My son is excited that he's getting like a baby toothless. He's still sort of hounding me for the big proper one, which maybe one day I will attempt. That is actually not in the cards for me right now. But I'm proud that I did complete this guy. So he's called, I don't know what he's called, Baby Dragon or something, I don't know. But obviously it's got toothless vibes. So there we go, little wings, the little red part on the tail. Not difficult at all. Very simple shapes. It just, like I said, I think it was working with this amount of dark yarn. Now this is the charcoal, so on screen, I don't know, you can see it's not quite black, but it looks black enough. I put the little green around the eyes, because that is what toothless, I think he has got green eyes. I really loved the end result of this. So even though it is not the proper full toothless I planned on making, he is so cute. And I can't believe it took me this long. Now, something like this, I could probably easily do in a day. It's not a lot of crocheting. It's simple shapes, as I mentioned. I mean, the pattern was well written. The only part I did struggle with, and in the end I did my own thing, I did not understand what she meant with these instructions for these fin things. I tried to do what it said in the pattern, didn't understand it at all, and then I just followed the photo, and it looks like how the photo looked. Anyway, I'm glad this guy is done, but I can just say again, working with one single dark color, it's not for me. I didn't enjoy it, which is sad because it's such a cute make. Maybe if I make it in a different color, but obviously then it's losing the entire vibe that it's going for, which is toothless. But I'm glad I did it. I'm glad it's done. So I will see if I ever get to making the very fancy, the much bigger, more advanced toothless. Next. Now my friend Julie at Kay's Mom Crochets, on a recent video of hers, she showed that she made my Binky Bunny pattern. She purchased the pattern and she made it, she showed it on her channel. Just to remind you, this is my Binky Bunny pattern. And when she did her video, she said something that sort of triggered me, triggered the creative juices. And she said that this was actually a really good base for a doll. She also mentioned that she had to resist the urge to give her bunny a dress, because you have all these front loops where you can very easily attach a frill to and make it into a dress instead of having, the overalls. And when she said that, and I actually commented on her video, I said, this is a great idea. I am going to try and make a doll using this exact base pattern of the bunny. And it worked up actually much quicker than I thought. Now the bunny does work up fairly quickly. It's not a very big toy with massive amounts of stitches that you work around. It does go fairly quickly. So the doll that I made did go much quicker than I thought, and I loved the end result. So this is the doll that I made. Now let me just get you up close. So I used the exact pattern for the legs, the body, the head, the arms. The only thing I changed is I did add another loop. Now I left open another row of front loops so that I could have 2 frills for the dress. So the bottom layer I made slightly less frilly, and then I added a second more frilly frill on top. I don't know how to explain it. And then for the hair, I just made a little hair cap, and I made this little side bun. Now this, you can just crochet a normal round ball, which we've often seen on for doll hair. This one is just actually 2 strands of curly cues that you sort of twist together and tack it down into a bun shape. So it just gives it a different type of a texture, but it's still just a bun. I actually used the exact same eyes, and I made the nose slightly smaller than this one. So even the embroidery on the face is fairly similar. Same eyes, same size of the eyes, slightly smaller nose, and I gave her this little cheeky sideways grin. Now for the little shoes, I just followed the instruction for the feet and I squeezed it on there and I tied it just in the back. So nothing fancy, but I felt with this little outfit she needed some shoes. So this one was inspired by a comment that Julie made saying that this body is a very good base for a doll. And Julie, you were absolutely correct. Now, I'm not a doll maker, for those of you who know. I do here and there make dolls, but it's not something that I would, I think, purposely design. I'm more of a bear, a bunny, an animal type of amigurumi maker, but this was a fun experiment. Now, in that same vein, I thought, well, now that I know it's a good base, I have to make a bear from this pattern. And of course, I whipped this up yesterday morning, and I just used, it's again the exact same head, arms, legs. Now the legs, the body and the head is all one piece. You sew on the arms, although if you make the arms beforehand, you probably can sew it in when you get sort of to the top of the body before you color change for the head. And I just added, if you've got any of my bear patterns, you can just use the ears and the muzzle from any of my other bear patterns. I've got this pattern pack that I brought out towards the end of last year. It has a cat and a bear and a bunny in it. You can use the ears if you've got that. You can use the ears and the muzzle of that pattern. Add it to this one. Again, I use the exact front loop, where you leave the front loop where you would have attached the little bib of the overalls, and I just attached a little, like a little frill, this, what do you call it, scalloped shell stitch edge to it. Did give my bear a little tail. So there we go. Very, very cute. I'm actually busy, believe it or not. No, you will probably believe it. I'm making another bear. I just couldn't get it finished for this video, so I'll probably show it in one of my next videos. But I'm making, just in different colors, another bear because I think it came out so adorable. Definitely have spring vibes with this one. Shorter pants, so wearing like knee length or, you know, cropped cargo type, not cargo pants, what do you call that? 3/4 leg pants, and a little summer shirt. Definitely with all of the sunshine I've been feeling, in a spring mood. So there we have it, my two adaptations based on the bunny base pattern. So great idea. Thank you, Julie, for mentioning it on your channel. This was actually a fun challenge for me to do with my own pattern. Now, in between all of that, I wanted to show you something that I've purchased, and then I'll go to like my main obsession during the last 2 weeks. But before we get to that, you guys know from a couple of weeks back that I mentioned that I'm sort of working on designing some patterns for a mystery crochet along for a bear in a box that I want to bring out, I think July. So I've now designed quite a few patterns for it. I was looking for the perfect box. So basically, it's just going to be a box. You can use any box, shoe box, a little suitcase, whatever. And in it, there will be a bear with various accessories that we're going to make over the course of July. And I was looking for the perfect box, and I found this one on Amazon. Now, I purchased from Amazon Germany because I'm in the EU. So I will see if Amazon.com, the US one, has got something similar, because this turned out to be such a perfect box for my bear in a box idea. And this is what it looks like. So it looks like a traveling, it's like a suitcase. I mean, look at how cute this is. And it looks like someone has been traveling the world. So it's got all of these like stickers from different places on it. So it's not stickers, it's printed onto the little suitcase. I can't open it because some of my items are actually in the suitcase. Maybe I can take it out. Hold on. Yes, let me just take out these few things. I don't want to spoil our surprise. But this is what it looks like on the inside. So far it's been a really great size. It fits the bear that I've designed perfectly, plus some few of the other accessories. But this has been such a fun find for me. I'm glad I saw it. This is going to be so cute. So there we have it, a little like suitcase for my bear in a box. So more info to follow on my Bear in a Box crochet along soon. As I say, I'm sort of planning to bring it out in July as part of a, not Christmas in July, but making stuff for Christmas from July. If you guys know what I mean. I know there's going to be a lot of Christmas in July videos. I am planning to join in with KK and Kristen. They're hosting the Christmas extravaganza. I'm planning to join in with that. I'm really looking forward to that. But in between all of that, the Bear in a Box crochet along will take place as well. All right, the last thing I've got to show you now. Let me just check the time because my camera is going to cut out at 30 minutes. Then I'm going to have to restart. My obsession, and you would have seen it in a short or a reel that I posted recently, and it is the loaf cats. Now you guys know I have an unhealthy obsession with the loaf cat pattern. I love that pattern. I have made dozens of loaf cats up to this point. All of them have been given away. I regularly take baskets of them to the office where I work. I mean, those cats never last a day. People love them. I've given them to my kids. They've given it to their friends. I mean, everyone around me now has got a loaf cat or more than one loaf cat. But I've always wanted to try blanket yarn. Now, where I live in Denmark, Bernat blanket is not an easily accessible yarn. I cannot just go to a store and buy it. I can order it from overseas, I think from certain stores, which costs an arm and a leg. So I've never done it. I mean, I'm not a plushie maker, as I mentioned many times before. I'm not crocheting for markets, but I do like trying different yarns. Also, as I mentioned a little earlier in this video, I don't order from Amazon.com because with shipping from the US, it's just crazy, and then import tax into Denmark, it's not really a feasible option. So I've never really, I mean, it's not bothered me that much. I have access to chenille yarns. You guys know I've got a small stash left, although I complain about chenille yarns constantly. I'm trying not to buy actually a ton of those type of yarns. I love working with cottons, but again, us being crafters and crocheters, we like trying different things. So recently I went onto Amazon Germany, where I purchased from, and they do have a small selection of Bernat blanket that you can purchase from there. Now it's much more expensive than you would get actually from the US. So I check every now and again if there's some discounts, and recently they had some of the colors slightly discounted, which was great. I thought this is my chance to try it, but I knew I was not going to do or like buy a ton of it, and I wanted it to be yarns that I can use for the loaf cat. So I was not going to buy like purples and reds and all sorts of bright colors. I wanted it to sort of be colors that I can use for loaf cats, because this is the only thing that I enjoy making using plush yarns, and that is the loaf cats. So about 2 weeks ago I received, so I only bought 2 colors. This is the one, and it came in a 2-pack, so 2 skeins of these. It's 300 grams, 10.5 ounces. I mean, this will not be a new yarn to almost any of you. I don't think there's anyone who's not seen or heard or tried Bernat blanket, so, or some very close variation of it. So I was super excited. I got this color, which is silver steel. I love this variegated type of colors. So this was the one Bernat blanket, and then I bought Bernat baby blanket, which I didn't at first realize it was baby blanket until it arrived. And it is in the color Little Sand Castles. Such a nice color for loaf cats. Also, I got 2 of these skeins, 300 grams. It's a super bulky number 6, which I found very strange because it's much thicker than the Hobby Honey Bunny or even the Parfait Chunky from Premier. It's thicker than those super bulky number 6s. It recommends an 8mm hook, but of course I never use the recommended hook. I thought, okay, well, it's a super bulky number 6. I'm going to use a 5.5mm in making my cats. So I made this this cute guy first, and it's definitely much bigger than, obviously, you guys would know this. It's not anything I'm telling you is not new, but it's much bigger than the chenille type of hobby, honey bunny, toucan, those types of yarns. So I really love the size, but definitely a 5.5 does take a certain amount of work with this yarn. It's actually, I realized after making my second one, so once I made this one, I thought, well, now definitely I want to try this brown. So I made this one, and it was so much smaller. Now the baby blanket, I thought it's just basically the same as the Bernat blanket. It's not. It's definitely softer, and it definitely works up smaller. So both of these I did in the same evening with a 5.5mm hook. Really loved how the colors turned out. Loved doing my beloved loaf cats. Now this is the Annie Garraway art pattern. I will link it down below. I mean, if there's anyone in this world who hasn't actually tried this pattern. So I thought, no, I like the size of this one better. I'm going to use a 6.5, which I've seen a lot of people use on the Bernat blanket. And that made my little brown cat just about the same size. So now I was happy. This one was in a 5.5mm. This one was with 6.5mm. So I loved making them. Then I thought, now I've been wanting to make the mini loaf cats. I mean, you can just downsize the pattern yourself. I was not in the mood for it, so I actually purchased from Annie Garraway Art her mini loaf cat pattern. Really, really easy downsizing that she does. After I did one cat, I read through the pattern, made one. Obviously now I've got 2 loaf cat patterns stuck in my head, so I made 3 of the original size. Then I decided I'm going to make the mini cats. And you guys, I love it even more than the big size. So this is the mini. Let me put it. So all of my minis, I used a 6.5mm hook. And this is the size difference. Actually, maybe I should put the same yarns next to each other. So this is the regular size in a 6.5. This is the mini in a 6.5. And again, you can see there's a definite difference between the Bernat blanket and the Bernat baby blanket. And I loved it. And I know many of you have mentioned before, and I've obviously seen it on many of the more market prep channels. You can do a magic ring with it, which is my biggest pain when using the toucan or the baby snuggle or the honey bunny. You cannot make a magic circle with that yarn. It's impossible. With this, I couldn't believe it. It was a magical experience. And I just kept on for days making loaf cats. So here you can see, whoop, they're trying to escape. I have got, in the end, I made 12. I think in the span of like 2 days. Here it is. I love keeping it in this little basket. I will probably take this to work again, or if my kids want to give it to even more people at their schools. I loved working with this yarn. Once I'd switched to the 6.5mm, it didn't hurt my hands as much as I thought, but obviously I don't exclusively crochet with plush yarn, so my hands do get a break when I work with my regular cottons in between. But I loved it. I love this pattern. I love this yarn. I love the mini cats. They are such a nice size. There's just not enough good things I can say about this loaf cat pattern. I will, for I think many months, if not years, I will enjoy making these cats. And I've got 2 more skeins. I don't think I will buy a ton more of it. So these 12 cats that I made took nearly 2 full balls. I've got like a small little balls of each color left after I whipped up those that basket of cats. Loved it. It is so relaxing. It's like one of my most enjoyable, like getting rid of stress patterns that's out there. So I can understand why they are market favorites. I mean, kids love them, adults love them. I love making them, and I think I will not stop anytime soon. Like I say, I'm very glad that I've still got 2 of these skeins of blanket yarn left. The only thing that actually has stopped me from making more is that the 12mm eyes, these ones are smaller, but for the big ones I use 12mm. My 12mm eyes are actually I don't have any more. I ran out of them because I so rarely use safety eyes. I don't have a massive stock of these plain black safety eyes. These ones from Amazon I really like. They've got a very nice secure backing. It's a flat, the little washer that you add to the back. It's almost flat and it's a very hard plastic. I love using them. They're very secure, but I need to order more because I have now run out. So maybe I'll just buy the 12mm because I've got a lot of small eyes, but because most of my items I embroider the eyes, and I need to find a new style because all of my toys now have got the same style of eye. I need to expand, and I keep on saying this, I need to expand my embroidered eye repertoire. But for my loaf cats, I do like them with the safety eyes. So I'll continue to use safety eyes on them, and I will continue to make them. All right, you guys, that is it. I think I've shown you everything. It was a very packed video. It is quite longer than my recent videos where I show you like 1 or 2 things. This one, it was a fun week, but I say that every week. I've really enjoyed every single thing I worked on. This one, although I love the end result, he unfortunately was my least favorite purely because of working with that dark yarn for the entirety almost of the project. But that's it, you guys. That is what I wanted to share with you for this week. Let me know how you are doing. Let me know what you are working on. Let me know how the weather is where you are living. Over here in Copenhagen, we've had some beautiful sunny weather. We haven't had rain in a couple of weeks, which is very strange for Copenhagen, for Denmark in general. It's a country where it rains the majority of the time, but we have been loving seeing the sun, going out, being outside. It is such a beautiful time of the year. So let me know what the weather is like in your part of the world. All right, friends, that's it. I've enjoyed chatting with you, as I always do. I look forward to reading your comments. I love receiving your comments. Yes, I know I'm incredibly slow with answering them back. But I love seeing them pop up like throughout the week. So please keep them going. Just chat to me about anything and everything. I don't mind what you put in the comments. It's nice to hear from you all. All right, friends, that's it for this week. Looking forward to chatting to you again next week. And as always, you guys, until I see you in the next video, stay safe and stay crafty.